I didn't set out to chase ghosts. I just wanted to measure things. Gases, metals, light. That was my world. Equations, not apparitions. But then word reached me of a young girl, said she could bring the dead into the room. I was asked to test her to see if she was a fraud, so I agreed. I'd done harder experiments. I began hearing reports of strange occurrences. Voices in the dark, figures forming out of air. The public called them spirits. I called them nonsense. But then, friends within the Royal Society urged me, if anyone can expose it, Crookes can. So I agreed. I would examine the mediums with the same rigor I used to discover thallium or perfect the radiometer. When I first heard of Miss Florence Cook, I was told she produced full-figure materializations in her home. I agreed to observe, under my own conditions, in my own house with my own instruments.
Even as a little girl, I would sometimes stop mid-sentence and listen to something no one else could hear. Mother said I'd talk softly to the air, as if someone stood beside me just out of sight. It never frightened me, only felt familiar, like remembering a voice I'd once known. When I was about 14, I was taken ill that kept me tired and out of it for weeks. During that time, strange things began to happen. Rapping on the wall, touches on my hand when no one was there. Mother thought it was my nerves at first, but she soon saw it was something else entirely.
Each gathering, or sitting, as they were called, took place in a small room of my home on Mornington Road. I hung a plain curtain to enclose the space where Florence entered trance, simply to keep conditions under control. I must say, every detail of this sitting was prepared and set up under my own eyes. I meant to leave no room for deception, and no excuse for doubt. So we began. Once inside the curtained space, or cabinet, Florence seemed to fall into trance almost immediately. Her pulse and breathing changed noticeably. It was difficult to judge how much was genuine and how much was the product of suggestion. To my surprise, the phenomena commenced almost at once. From the curtained cabinet, a figure emerged and addressed us in a calm voice, while Miss Cook remained within, motionless, and to all appearance in deep trance. I make no claim beyond what was plainly observed. The form that appeared moved and spoke as any living person might. Yet I plainly saw Miss Cook at the same time, and she did not stir. Every sitting was witnessed by others, men and women of sound judgment, so that no observation depended upon myself alone. Their testimony is preserved in the public records of my work. Here are their accounts. Mr. Cromwell Varley, among the foremost electrical engineers of our time, approached these sittings with the same precision he brought to his instruments. He was not a man to mistake imagination for fact.
I attended several experiments with Miss Cook at Mr. Crookes's request, determined to judge by observation alone. The conditions were well controlled. No one could enter or leave that cabinet unobserved. On more than one occasion, I saw the figure and Miss Cook at the same time, the one standing, the other seated with eyes closed. I examined them closely and found no evidence of deception. To my scientific judgment, what we witnessed was genuine.
Mr. Charles Blackburn was a man of business. Practical, methodical, cautious by nature, he demanded order and control. During my investigations, he was present to see that every condition was fair, every possibility of deception removed.
In those earlier months of 1873, I was present when the figure appeared, while Miss Cook remained within the cabinet. I saw both distinctly. I could not reconcile what I saw with any ordinary explanation. The figure spoke rationally, sensibly. At one moment saying she came to prove that life continues and death is not the end. Nothing I saw suggested fraud. The facts stood solidly before me.
Among the witnesses was Sergeant William Robert Cox, a senior barrister of the English courts, a man whose entire profession rests upon the testing of evidence. He was trained to expose falsehood wherever it hid. His testimony, therefore, stands as one of the most compelling on record. On the evening of the 9th of May, 1874, I again saw and touched the warm, breathing body of Florence Cook, and then stood upright by the side of the materialized figure named Katie. I can testify that there were present two living, breathing intelligences perfectly distinct from each other before me. In those months, I witnessed what I can only describe as a living presence. The figure called herself Katie King. She spoke gently, sometimes asking me to look upon Miss Cook to see that she lay motionless, and then to turn toward her own form. I saw the two together, one breathing in trance, the other moving, speaking, and smiling as any living woman might. I took note of every detail. I felt Miss Cook's pulse, steady and unchanged, while Katie stood before me. I measured her height and the span of her hands. Both differed from the medium's. I conversed with her, and she replied clearly, reasoning as any thoughtful person might. When the time came to depart, she said quietly, "My dear, I can't. My work is done." I can only record what I saw. Whatever lies behind it, I know it was no illusion.